June 22, 1941. Before sunrise, 3 million soldiers, 7,000 artillery guns, 3,600 tanks, and 2,700 aircraft thundered into motion. This was not just an invasion, it was the largest military operation in human history. Adolf Hitler believed this single campaign would destroy the Soviet Union in 10 weeks. Instead, it would quietly seal Nazi Germany's fate. This operation had no declaration of war, no warning, and no mercy. What followed was a clash so vast, so brutal, it would redefine modern warfare forever. This was Operation Barbarossa. By early If you're enjoying this deep dive into World War II history, make sure to like this video. It helps the algorithm push real history to more people. And subscribe to the channel for cinematic, faceless documentaries on the greatest battles and decisions of WWII. New episodes are coming, and the next one is even more brutal. Nazi Germany controlled most of Europe. France had fallen. Britain stood alone. Hitler now turned east toward his ideological enemy. To Hitler, the Soviet Union was not just a rival, it was a racial enemy, a political threat, and a land he wanted for Lebensraum, living space for the German Empire. But there was another reason. Germany was running out of oil, grain, and raw materials. Ukraine's farmland, the Caucasus oil fields. These resources were the real prize. Hitler believed one thing above all: kick in the door and the whole rotten structure will collapse. He believed the Red Army was weak, unprepared, leaderless after Stalin's purges. He was catastrophically wrong. The plan: Operation Barbarossa. Operation Barbarossa was launched on June 22, 1941. The invasion front stretched over 1,800 miles, from the Baltic Sea to the Black Sea. The German army was divided into 3 massive groups. Army Group North, target Leningrad. Army Group Center, target Moscow. Army Group South, target Ukraine. This was blitzkrieg on a continental scale. Fast tanks, relentless airstrikes, encirclement tactics designed to annihilate entire Soviet armies in days. And at first, it worked. The first shock, June through July. The Soviet Union was caught completely off guard. Thousands of aircraft were destroyed on the ground. Entire Red Army units were surrounded and captured. At Bialystok-Minsk, over 300,000 Soviet soldiers were taken prisoner. At Smolensk, another 180,000 fell. German commanders believed victory was weeks away. Maps were redrawn, victory parades were planned. Winter equipment was not even issued. But beneath the surface, something dangerous was happening. The Soviet Union was not collapsing, it was absorbing the blows. The first cracks in Hitler's plan. As German forces pushed deeper, supply lines stretched thinner. Fuel ran short, spare parts vanished, roads turned into oceans of mud. Most critically, time was slipping away. The Soviet Union was doing what Hitler never expected: moving factories east, mobilizing millions of soldiers, learning from defeat. Every mile forward cost Germany men it could not replace. And then, Hitler made a decision that would haunt him forever. He diverted his armies. Instead of driving straight to Moscow, forces were split toward Leningrad and Ukraine. That delay would change the war. By late summer 1941, Germany stood deep inside Soviet territory. The Red Army was bleeding, but winter was approaching, and ahead lay Moscow. By September 1941, German forces had advanced hundreds of miles into Soviet territory, but the victory Hitler promised had not arrived. Instead, the invasion began to slow. Autumn rains turned dirt roads into thick mud, the infamous Rasputitsa. Tanks bogged down, supply trucks stalled, men marched on foot, exhausted and hungry. Meanwhile, Stalin did something extraordinary. He ordered entire factories dismantled, loaded onto trains, and moved beyond the Ural Mountains, far out of German reach. Even as cities burned, the Soviet war machine was being reborn in the east. Germany was winning battles, but the Soviet Union was winning time. The drive toward Moscow. In October 1941, Hitler finally refocused on his main prize, Moscow. Operation Typhoon was launched, a massive final push to end the war. At first, it seemed unstoppable. Hundreds of thousands of Soviet troops were encircled. German forces came within 20 miles of the Kremlin. Some soldiers claimed they could see Moscow's towers through binoculars. But then, the temperature dropped. Winter, the enemy Hitler ignored. German soldiers were not prepared for winter. Many lacked winter coats, gloves, insulated boots. Weapons froze, engines failed, frostbite crippled entire units. Temperatures plunged to -40 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, fresh Soviet divisions arrived, Siberian troops trained for winter warfare, equipped, disciplined, and relentless. On December 5, 1941, the Red Army struck back. The Soviet counteroffensive. The counterattack shattered the myth of German invincibility. German units were driven back, sometimes in panic. For the first time in the war, Hitler ordered no retreat. That decision cost hundreds of thousands of lives. Operation Barbarossa had failed. The Soviet Union still stood. Germany was now trapped in a long war of attrition it could never win. Operation Barbarossa was more than a failed invasion. It forced Germany to fight a two-front war against an enemy with greater manpower and unmatched industrial depth. From this moment on, Germany would always be reacting, never controlling the war again. Every major defeat that followed, Stalingrad, Kursk, Berlin, can be traced back to this single decision. Operation Barbarossa began as the largest invasion in human history. It ended as history's greatest miscalculation. Hitler believed the Soviet Union would collapse in weeks. Instead, he awakened a force that would march all the way to Berlin. The road to Germany's defeat began not at Stalingrad, but here, on the frozen roads outside Moscow. Operation Barbarossa did not end in a single moment. It ended slowly, painfully, and inevitably. By early 1942, the German army was exhausted. Millions of soldiers were dead, wounded, or captured. The quick victory Hitler promised had turned into a war without end. But the most dangerous consequence was yet to come. Barbarossa transformed the Eastern Front into a war of annihilation. Entire cities were destroyed. Civilians were starved, executed, erased from history. The scale of suffering was unlike anything the world had ever seen. And still, the Soviet Union fought on. Every factory relocated, every winter endured, every loss absorbed. Germany, meanwhile, was bleeding strength it could never recover. The invasion that was meant to secure the Reich's future, instead, guaranteed its destruction. Because from this point forward, Germany would face endless Soviet manpower, growing Allied pressure in the West, and a war economy stretched to breaking point. When German forces were crushed at Stalingrad, the outcome was already decided. Stalingrad was not the beginning of the end. Barbarossa was. History often turns on one decision, one moment of overconfidence, one belief that an enemy will collapse. On June 22, 1941, Hitler made that decision, and the world paid the price.